Hello, welcome back to the third episode of Frack the Canon with me, your host René Mendoza, and joining us from LA as always, CJ McCree. What's up, CJ? How you doing? All right, thank you, CJ. So,
It looks kind of frozen.
yeah, you froze a little bit. So we'll be having some of that. That's awesome. That's okay. So this week we'll be talking about a couple of things. Trainwreck with Amy Schumer. CJ, you saw Mission Impossible 5, which you told me was pretty good.
Totes.
And then Arkham Knight, you have stuff to talk about. And then I brought in a clip for Straight Outta Compton and the CDs of N.W.A. We'll be talking about that. Alrighty, so CJ, go ahead and talk to me. We have a clip for Mission Impossible. If you can please roll that clip whenever you're ready. Well, that looked awesome. I have no idea what happened in that scene. So what happened, dude? What happened? Let us know what happened in that.
All right. Well, yeah, that's actually one of the better scenes in the movie. That's one of the classic, what I like to call one of those classic Mission Impossible moments. Ever since the first one, they have like those moments where it's like, all right, they have this impossible thing that they have to do in order to make it work, and like you can only do so much, and like it measures your weight and your eyes and your everything. You know what I mean? Like, so that was from like that one scene in the movie that's in like every Mission Impossible franchise. Basically, they have to like. It's something crazy. Like the only way they can get into a building is through the water, and the water will shut off if it detects any metal. So he can't wear like an oxygen tank. So he has to hold his breath for like 3 minutes, I think, and do like something else. So it's like classic Mission Impossible moment. But as I talk with René a lot, I'm a sucker for a good action movie. I love action movies, and Mission Impossible 5 does not disappoint. If you're a Mission Impossible fan, it's definitely a good movie. I, for one, I just a slight bit like Ghost Protocol, slightly more than I like Rogue Nation. But Rogue Nation is an excellent movie. I really love the plot. It's different for a Mission Impossible movie. It centers around what's called a Rogue Nation. It's like a group of counter spies, basically, who were made and put together specifically to target the IMF. And if you guys follow Mission Impossible, obviously you know who the IMF is. It's led by Ethan Hunt, starring Tom Cruise. And I did, before I watched the movie, I did watch a little HBO short, and they were talking about the stunts that they were doing, and that they were actually like real stunts. Like one of the popular scenes from the trailer, they show like a plane taking off and Tom Cruise is hanging on the side. Well, they actually hung him on the side of the plane, and actually did that stunt, which is crazy. And then they said they did it like they shot it like 9 times, So it's like, but
Wait, they shot it
no,
nine times?
Say that again.
They shot it 9 times?
They shot it 9 times from takeoff to landing the plane.
That's
like they hung Tom Cruise on the side of a plane and actually took off. You know what I mean?
Right.
And flew. Like, which is crazy when you think about it.
Was it at least cool? Like, was it cool? Like, it's.
Yeah, no, yeah, it played excellent. You know what I mean? Like, it looked good. It wasn't worthless. It wasn't like, oh, they did it and it was the stupid part of the movie. No, I mean, it wasn't a very big part, but it looked great. And it was an excellent movie. Simon Pegg is hilarious as always in the movie. He did really good. Everybody's back. Everybody that you really care for that's part of the team is back. Alec Baldwin is a new addition as the head of the CIA, and he's sort of an antagonist, or more like threshold guardian, I guess, if you speak film lingo.
I know what you mean.
Our two fans out there in the audience.
Hi, Mom.
Right. But no, yeah, but it's an excellent movie, and I would highly recommend it. I don't even think we even have a rating system, do we?
We don't. We really don't. We just do it. Like, this show exists just so we can talk and we can show people that we have a show, just to show our charisma. That's why the show exists. Like, there's no real reason for this show. All right, so let me ask you this. I love Ghost Protocol. I think it's the best out of all the Mission Impossible movies. You said it's slightly better, but how much better, though, do you think? 'Cause that's
not by much. Not by much.
Okay.
Like, it's about the same enjoyability, I would say.
Okay.
I like Ghost Protocol. I like Ghost Protocol slightly more because I like the story, and I think that the humor brings something special to that one, you know. Right. But Rogue Nation, I think I like the story in Rogue Nation a little bit better than the Ghost Protocol story. And I mean, it's just a good movie. I just prefer Ghost Protocol, for no certain reasons. I don't know.
I don't know, that lady, that sidekick was awesome. She was pretty. She was pretty.
Yeah, you know, and the thing about Ghost Protocol is it's more of a fun movie.
Okay.
Rogue Nation is still fun, but it's more serious, definitely, in tone.
Okay. I'm definitely gonna check it out. Something I definitely want to see, but not yet. Not after I see Fantastic Four: Straight Outta Compton. So okay, so that's your. Anything else you want to add about Mission Impossible 3 before I move on to my review?
If you like action movies and Tom Cruise and Mission Impossible, go see it, I guess.
My selling point is Simon Pegg. Like, you can't go wrong with Simon Pegg. All right, so what I saw, Trainwreck with Amy Schumer. All right, so here's.
Amy.
All right, so roll the clip.
What's up?
Is that wine in a box?
Mm-hmm.
Is this guy ever going to shut up?
Please watch the movie.
Stop. No, that's not right. Don't do this to me.
Why is he yelling?
Listen, you always do this to me. You show up to these places, you put me in a situation. I'm a big guy. Everybody wants to fight the big guy.
Yeah, you are.
Hey, Mark Wahlberg, shut your bitch up.
Mark Wahlberg? Me?
Who else looks like Mark Wahlberg? Your girl?
So that scene, I found it to be very, very funny. I thought it was a little bit. I'm like, whoa, what the hell? Like, it's the stereotype of black people talking in theaters, but it's a white couple talking in theaters, and I found it really hilarious. That movie was really funny. I like Amy Schumer. I'm not a big fan, but I think she's really funny. And I was surprised by how much I actually enjoyed it. I laughed, I cried, I learned, I loved. No, that's not true. But that scene,
I couldn't even hear that clip, and I thought it looked hilarious. I didn't even know what was going on, but it looked funny.
There was no audio? All right, well, then I guess I'll have to post that. Not a problem. But pretty much it's about Amy Schumer's character named Amy, who from her early childhood, her parents got divorced. And her dad played by Colin Quinn, and I love Colin Quinn. Like, to me, one of my favorite comedians, one of my favorite SNL news updates anchors. And pretty much saying that monogamy isn't real, monogamy is just an illusion. And she grew up with that. And pretty much John Cena is her main guy she's seeing, but she's still having sex with other people. And he's trying to be a little bit more serious. And John Cena is surprisingly really, really funny. Like, he delivers the best lines in the movie. But that was a funny clip. I recommend you go see it. It's no different than any other romantic comedy. Like, it's pretty much the same thing. She breaks up with her main guy. She meets up this awkward. They become friends. They have a fight, and then it all ends happily ever after. I did enjoy. It was nice to see. It was the girl's point of view and not the guys. And that was it pretty much. I liked Amy Schumer, and that's the reason why I wanted to go see it. And I had nothing else to watch in the movies that day. Just wanted to get out of the house. Yeah.
It looks funny.
It's really funny. Like, there's one scene where you see they're having sex and you see John Cena's butt. So for all the ladies who love John Cena, you see his butt naked in there.
We can always count on you to find those moments in the movies.
You know me, CJ. You know me too well. That's why we're best friends. But yeah, so that's anything you would like to add? Any questions you have about this?
Nah.
Nah. Alrighty. So now we're moving on. Now we're moving on to the meat of what you really want to talk about, Arkham Knight. We have a clip for Arkham Knight, and I know you're all about. So can we roll that clip, please?
Dark days are here, Batman. The prophecy has come true. From the ashes of Arkham City, the fires are raging, and Gotham is burning. I can see that same fire in your eyes. Before this night is through, that fire will consume you.
This show should be called Copyright. Or copyright by still copyright. So tell me, CJ, what did we just watch there?
Okay, so you just watched. All right. Anyways, all right. So you just watched a chunk of. First of all, the Arkham Knight trailers are all titled, right? All right. So that is the third Arkham Knight trailer, and that is titled "All Who Follow You." Right, because I don't know, they're being pretentious or whatever, but if there was a game I would geek out about, I guess it would be the Spider-Man version of this game because I like Spider-Man. But Batman, I've always thought the Arkham series is the quintessential Batman experience, more so than reading the comics. I mean, it requires that you read the comics, but more so than reading the comics, more so than watching any of the movies or the cartoons. The Arkham series really puts you in the place of the Dark Knight. It challenges your mind to solve random crimes. I mean, sometimes like you're solving like a serial killer murder. Sometimes you're solving Riddler's riddles. Sometimes you're chasing down Two-Face and his thugs, or you know what I mean, like you're using the Bat computer. And in this iteration, their big addition was the Batmobile. You could see the Batmobile in the previous games, but you couldn't get in it and drive around. But in this version of the game, the Arkham Knight, you can now drive the Batmobile. You can tear around the whole city, and you pretty much have a huge chunk of Gotham City to kind of just play around in. The stories are always been good in the Arkham series, but this one, I don't know what they did. I don't know what was in the water, but they really stepped it up this one. There are times when I'm playing this game and I wish that I was watching it instead, like as a movie or like a cartoon or something, because the story is just that good and that engaging. And I don't even want to put it down. I don't even want to have to do some kind of mission to get more stories. Like, no, I just want to watch this. Like, this is excellent. So it takes place obviously after the events of Arkham City, which is the second game. And for those of you who played Arkham City, in this story that at the end of Arkham City, Joker dies. And so at the beginning of this one, there's it's sort of the aftermath of that. What would happen? Something that the comics could never really touch on is like what would happen in a world where Batman exists but Joker doesn't anymore. And so Scarecrow is kind of the big bad guy that you're facing.
Scarecrow?
But there's, Scarecrow is like the big bad guy that you're facing in this one. And I kind of, when I first heard that with the previews, I was kind of turned off because it's like, all right, I spent the last 2 games fighting the Joker, which is one of my favorite villains of all time, and definitely the best Batman villain and his archenemy. So I'm like, well, how are we gonna follow this up with Scarecrow? But it does a really good job at making Scarecrow foreboding, but his threat isn't the only threat that you're facing. Scarecrow's partnered up with the titular character of the game, this character called the Arkham Knight. and he is meant to be. His identity is meant to be a mystery to you. And over this course of this night, each of the games all take place in one night. But over the course of this night, you're facing him. You're facing off against this character, the Arkham Knight, who seems to know who Batman is and seems to know how Batman does his thing. So he's always a step ahead of Batman, of you as you're doing things. And, different. It also presses the envelope a lot too. It's very like edge of your seat kind of story, very suspenseful story. There's different things. This is a world where Batgirl, the Oracle or whatever it is. This is nice. Oh wow, that's excellent.
Yeah, I know, right? Hold on, where did it go? It's my phone case. All right, continue. Anyways, that's the only time I have.
No, it totally derailed me. Let's talk about it. No, I'm joking. Anyways. But no, so this is a world where I know in the comic universe, Barbara Gordon is Batgirl again, but this is a world where she's still the Oracle. She's still crippled. She even gets kidnapped during the course of the game, and it challenges you to choose how fast you try and track her down, and it gives you like a sort of set of consequences as well. There are multiple endings to this game, depending on how you play it as well. And much like there are 4 Arkham games in this series, but Rocksteady, who is the maker of this Arkham game, made the first one and the second one and this one. So they sort of have this trilogy that they kind of completed with this one. And it very much feels like very final in everything that's going on. Even in that trailer I showed you, the reason I chose to show that is because of some of the things that the guy who's narrating says. It's it's a very trying night for Batman, and it's going to cause him to push his limits, and you don't know if this is going to be the time when he oversteps his bounds and break that one rule that he has. We all know that Batman has is he won't kill anyone. But his enemies are really gathering together to see if they can push him over the edge, and there's a lot going on in this game. A lot of nods to a lot of famous comic book story arcs. There's a little bit of Hush in there. There's a little bit of Dark Knight Returns in there. A little bit of Under the Red Hood in there. Even a cameo to like the Killing Joke, even as voiced by Mark Hamill. Oh, and that's the best part is Mark Hamill's back as the Joker.
Oh, dude! All right.
But
that's awesome.
But I won't tell you in what capacity is. Because that's like one of the coolest moments in the game as you find out, how he's in there. He's not back to life or something goofy like that, but
so
his voice is in the game as the Joker.
I'm guessing it's a flashback from the sound of it.
It's weird.
Oh, okay. A dream?
It
Is
would
it a
be
dream?
weird to explain it all anyway.
Okay.
But if I could give that game like a 10 out of 10, I would totally give it a 10 out of 10. It's very enjoyable. It's very exciting. And I'm just talking about the story. I'm not even talking about all the stuff you can do as Batman in there, I can't geek out enough about Arkham Knight. It is an excellent game.
So I've heard a lot about these games. Everyone told me to play it. I would love this game from Arkham Asylum when it first came out, and they told me what it was. They told me you're a sleuth. You're pretty much Batman. You have to discover riddles. But I fear that if I ever play these games, I would never get anything done. Like I would come to work, sleep, eat, and then play the game all day. How far am I from that? Like it sounds awesome, but and I don't have a PS4 yet. But should I start with game 1, or can I pick up from any game for those who haven't played?
Well, I would say this. You can pick up from any game. It does a good job at catching you up. But the story does continue from game to game.
Okay.
And it does everything that happens in each game is everything that happens after the first one builds on what happened in the first one. So it's like, no, you don't need to, but like it would, the story would, be better if you played all 3, of course.
Okay. But you said that there was 4 games. So is there what is the one that I'm
Right. So Rocksteady is the game studio that made Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and Arkham Knight.
Okay.
There was WB Games. Now they publish it. There was another game before Arkham Knight, and it was called Arkham Origins. It wasn't made by Rocksteady, but it's still in the same timeline. But it was called Arkham Origins, and it was meant to be a prequel to Arkham Asylum.
Oh, I see. Okay. Got it.
Now, I haven't played that one, and it's generally regarded as the worst out of the whole series. But, you know, I mean, it's still enjoyable from what I hear.
All right. I'm going to play them eventually, but going back to Mark Hamill being the Joker, did you hear that he's going to be doing a DC animated movie of The Killing Joke, and he's coming back to be the Joker for that show?
I did hear that, and I was wondering if they were somehow connected, because there's a nod to that in the game, you know. But yeah, no, that pleases me to no end. He does Joker like nobody else.
I like that's what I did when I heard that. But if they do him, I hope they bring back Kevin Conroy for that to be Batman. Like it's gotta be him, Kevin Conroy, and Mark Hamill doing those voices for that story. That story is one of the best stories of comic book.
Well,
not only Batman.
Kevin Conroy's not going anywhere. He's like Batman for the long haul. Like I think he'll be Batman until like his voice just dies before he does.
And then he'll start doing Stephen Hawking, the Stephen Hawking voice.
Right.
Alrighty, so we ran a lot of time. So one last clip before we go. Movie I want to see from this band right here. If we can get this, straight out of Compton from N.W.A. If we can roll that clip very fast. Thank you.
I'm trying to get home. You need to get back in the house, or I will ruin your night. I gotta talk to my moms like that.
You had the chance to change the situation. Would you take it?
People are scared of you guys. You have a unique voice. The world needs to hear it.
They want N.W.A? Let's give them N.W.A.
Your songs glamorize gangs and drugs.
Our art is a reflection of our reality.
So, CJ, I'm sorry. Okay, I had a miscommunication there on my end. CJ, so you we talked about N.W.A. Have you heard any N.W.A. music or CDs? Like you know of Ice Cube and Dr. Dre, but have you heard any of their songs? Like,
yeah, I've heard. I know N.W.A.
Okay.
I've heard them.
I didn't want to assume anything. I'm just kidding. But I remember when I first heard these CDs. I remember I was like 14 or 15 when I bought all their CDs, and just reading their bio about them, about like what happened, like how they formed, and how because of money, their money issues, Ice Cube left, and then they kind of started the strife, and then Paul Giamatti, who plays Jerry, I forget the last name. Paul Giamatti is an awesome bad guy. He always plays a character, for lack of a better, an asshole that's kind of lovable. But the guy's I really want to see this movie, and I don't know what to say. I have so many things I want to say about this that I really, really can't get all out in a cohesive sentence. But this movie looks really, really good, and it's something I've been looking forward to since I first heard about it, like last year. I just want to get that out there and express myself, like N.W.A. said. That's all I have.
I want to see it too. I think it looks pretty cool. I've been interested in seeing. We've never seen a '90s movie yet. You know, I mean, we see '80s movies all the time.
Yeah.
We see '70s movies.
Yeah, no, that's
like period.
Yeah, but this is funny too because this is also an '80s movie too. It came out. Trainwreck came out in '88, and then
all right.
And most of the but
That's
still though.
Did
you think it's still the '90s? That's still not the '90s.
It is.
Yes, '88.
Every decade is a take on just the end of the decade before it.
That's too. All right. Anywho, but I just love it. I also the reason why I want to see it is because their famous song "F the Police," and with current events that's happening recently, I think it's a timely movie too. That this movie comes out at the same time things are happening in the United States. I hear we have like 2 minutes left. Any last words on the new show this episode that you want to say? Get out.
Ant-Man was cool.
Alrighty, so we have 1 minute left. Alrighty, Ant-Man was not cool. Should have been Edgar Wright. And then next episode, we'll start naming it Copyright Violation Show. Because if we violate so many copyrights in this episode. Like, might as well. So I guess that's it. Thank
you want our money? Take it from me.
Yes, take all my bills. Take it all. Alrighty. Adios. That's the ending music to. This is the ending music to our show. This is the ending music to our show. This is.
Wait, keep humming. Keep humming.
I think every episode now on we do that, CJ. That's how we end the show.